Alright, good morning. So today we've got a bunch of shit on the to-do list, which is like, I don't know which one to do first. We've got a lot. But actually, yesterday, at the start of the day, it looked a bit mad with all the things I wanted to do. But actually, it's not so bad. I can just kind of attack this from any angle. I think the main one is... Well, yeah, we could do the Ultimania effect. So we just need to make it so that doing an ultimate when you've got Ultimania active improves the power of your ultimate. There's a few ways we could do this. I'm probably going to go for the most easy and spaghettified way. So when we do an ultimate, that happens here in the player controller, and it's horrible spaghetti, but I suppose this would be a good opportunity to turn this into a switch case rather than a bunch of if statements. And I think, yeah, so here it all is. I'll just collapse it so I can see it. And yeah, Randar. Or should we change Beanie's name? I haven't actually thought of a name for Beanie. Think I'll put that on the list. Think of new name for Beanie. I like fantasy characters' names to actually kind of mean sort of etymologically what they are. So she's a sort of supportive character who kind of yeah, she wants to help Randar. I think she's in love with him, probably. I think he's probably in love with her too. And she also wants to kill the orcs, but she wants to be a bit smarter about it than Randar is. And she doesn't want to do the undead shit. Yeah, I can't think of a name, but that's on the list. I can place a mental order for that. Yeah. Okay, so if we go to upgrades and look for Ultimania. Okay, so stat name is going to be ultimate. Well, no, we don't need any of that. We don't need a stat name. So let's describe it. Ultimate abilities. Your ultimate will be more powerful. And I suppose, so like, are there any of these that don't like, thinking of Chicken Rain, yeah, it doesn't have the thing, okay good, so that doesn't break it. I mean it might, but it'll be easy to spot and easy to fix. So we just want the stat value, which is going to be what I'm going to use to like multiply the power. So stat value equals, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like how much more powerful should the ultimate be? I mean, it would make sense for it to be 0.2, like 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, and then you guessed it, 1. And that basically, how can we multiply the power of the ultimate by that. I think Sean's one is too powerful anyway. So if we said so if upgrades, how do we check if an upgrade exists? How do I do that? Where do we have the actual player? The character container. Let's get rid of the battle cry nonsense. That's so bloody annoying. Just looking for like the easiest way. Like I know how I could do it, but is there a better way to? What's been the way that I've? Okay, yeah. So this was the one I made that I'm not actually going to use. So since this doesn't exist, I'm gonna. Is that really the best way to just quickly check for an upgrade? I mean, it's going to be very. The optimization doesn't matter because this is going to happen. Not too often. It's not like something that happens every second to a bunch of characters. So we're checking if their name contains Ultimania, and if it does, then I guess we would want to say, like we could do a switch case of like, if it's tier 2, then do it this much, if it's tier 3, but we'll say dot value, no? And we'll say ultimate power plus equals that. And then we'll do a quick debug.log. Just until we've used it a few times, just to check that it's the right numbers. Ultimate power. Okay, and now we need to find a way, and it's not going to be particularly easy in each case, to kind of multiply this effect by ultimate power. So we could say spawn ally 2 times ultimate power. That's it. That's an easy one. Okay, we can say divide frequency or timer divided by ultimate power. It doesn't have to be like 1-to-1, just as long as the ultimate power is like consistent. So that could be yeah, the frequency. There'll just be more arrows. Okay. King's Blessing. So the value, this is how much is increased by the King's Blessing. Or would we rather have it last longer? I think times ultimate power for the... Would it be times ultimate power? Yeah, I guess that will work. I mean, I was just thinking it could just be ultimate power because it's 1, but no, let's keep it fairly consistent. So 1 times ultimate power. I think it could last longer. We'll see. After 100, it doesn't really make much difference. Okay, so then here we're going to, so at this point we use a weapon. This is the one where I'm worried that it might be a bit tricky. I think the thing might be, yeah, we want, So in weapons, so basically we have a weapon which is just this one use weapon for ultimate. But I have a feeling, like it doesn't have to come from a list though. So we could say, and because this is so rare, I'm not worried about optimization. So we could say weapon jack dash equals new weapon. And then we basically just do that. Equals new weapon. Effect prefab is jack slash. So we would have that stored somewhere. So the effect prefab, yeah, so we would have to store this in, I guess, stuff.c.jack slash, and then we go to weapons, jack slash would exist in the stuff script instead. Next to some other prefabs. Tidy that up later. And then the sound, yeah, weapons.getWeapon. I'm really not worried about optimization here because it's an ultimate. It's not like it's going to happen all the time, very often at all. And then so we could just say jack dash. Jack dash. Or could it even just be effect prefab? Or we could go straight to that. No, because I'll just leave it like that for the moment because that worked. I think that might be tidier though. Oh, 4 people. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Okay. So then what we can do is quite simply make this times ultimate power, and I guess also like it could all be times ultimate power. And it's a bit awkward, it's a bit messy, but it will work, and it's like the fact that it's messy isn't going to affect optimization or gameplay or anything. So this works fine, I think. So we make a weapon, and then over here in weapons, we can actually get rid of jack dash. So we don't need this because we can just, as awkward as it is, we can actually just set that up like as and when we need it. There's a couple optimizations we could do, if just in case anyone's curious. We could set this up at the beginning of player controller just once, but I don't foresee any problems. Like, I'm just going to put it like this for now and put a pin in it and say we can tidy it later. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I should tidy it now. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. Let's just get it working. So yeah, we make the weapon. Takes like no time at all to do this. This is very, very, very simple code. Very, very like light, inexpensive code. So there's no, like, if I were to be slightly more optimized, what I would do is say a character, like we have something called, oh, ultimate effects. Why is that here? We don't need this here. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. So let's put that in stuff. So I'll need to remember to set that to assign those. So we go stuff, and we'll make like this is me starting to do things, to organize things in a slightly better way. Jack slash and jack dash. And I'm just going to Control Z a bunch of times, just so I can double check that that was indeed a game object. It was. So as long as I assigned the same game object, it should be fine. So what I could do is say something like public or private weapon ultimate, be lowercase if it's private, ultimate weapon, it's a new weapon, and then we would say if you're Jack. But I think that's more messy. I think while it's slightly better optimized, it's less readable. I like to just have everything to do with what the ultimate is doing in the same kind of chunk of code. That's fine. So we'll do something similar for, so Cruel has a buff, and we will simply, oh, that's going to be quite strong. I think we should do both AoE and time by Ultimania, ultimate power. Which could be absolutely crazy in terms of balance, but we can fix that down the line. And then if we go upgrades, your ultimates are 25% more powerful. It's one of the things about not making the upgrade as you add it to the list. If you make it and then add it to the list, I could just say ultimates are stat value more powerful, but I can't do that. So next time I make a game, I'll do it like that. I don't know, maybe it's not too late. It's just it's not going to improve anything materially, really. Okay. So yeah, let's just go back to Rowan and say that he also gets, I feel like 10% might actually be fair, rather than making it end up being that the ultimate is twice as powerful. I think that might be a little bit too friendly. I don't know. Let me know what you think. That might be a bit too overpowered. It'll be fun to test it out and see. Okay. Alright. Do we even use... It looks like I'm like actually just fully... So again, this is horrible spaghetti. But it was easier to just copy and paste the code that a chain attack does than it was to... retrofit the chain attack so it could work. So it could be called by an ultimate, basically. Chain lightning. So do we even use Dashatar chain lightning? So in the case of Jack, yeah, weapon equals... Okay, and then what do we do with weapon here? I see. So we are taking from those stats. We are, okay, that's fine. Yeah, okay. So we'll just do the same thing we did with Jack just now, where we say we're going to make the weapon here. We're going to make the weapon as we need it, because it takes a fraction of a second. Okay. And then here we can do it would be nice to just quickly reference the weapon. Weapon chain lightning equals weapons dot get weapon chain lightning and dot chain effect sprite equals. I don't think we need a sprite. Do we not have, is that not static? Why wouldn't that be static? So we'll just go stuff.c.stuff.weapons.electrify buff. Is it private? Let's make it public then, it's fine. Okay. Okay, what's the problem? Oh, we need a... Yeah, good. Okay, again, messy as hell, but we're sort of embracing the spaghetti at this point. That'll work. And then what I can do is just say times ultimate power. Oh, I don't know if the change should be effective. Why not? Why not? We'll see. Let's just not do it with the chains. I could easily like do math, like the balance is kind of going out the window with a lot of this. Like I'm intentionally ignoring balance at the moment and just kind of really throwing up random numbers that feel right, knowing full well that it's probably not going to be that. Okay. All right. Pick makes weapon rain. So he's just going to spawn 4 chickens. So plus ultimate power. No, times ultimate power. So 4 times ultimate power would be like, so it'd be 8. So he'd spawn 8 chickens if it's doubled. That's probably going to work, yeah. I don't see why it wouldn't. Okay, he gets a random item. How do you make this one work? Because it's going to be really tricky to like improve the power of the item. We could make it skew more towards the chest. How do you impact this by Ultimania? How do you make this better by having better ultimate power? I don't know. How do I achieve that? I don't know. You could say that he gets 2, but only if it's fully upgraded. I don't know. How would I make... Because basically, so if you can't read this at a glance, it's like Lur is actually like Mordor for loot or treasure chest or treasure, I think. And he is a loot goblin. He's like the captain of the loot goblins. And his special ability is he gets a random special item. So what we could do is say, and I don't like, just for this, it would be really awkward to say, oh, there can be a more powerful bomb that does more damage, or a chicken that heals for more, or a mana gem that gives, like that's going to be awkward. But what we could do, like, okay, here's one. Float. And it's funny because how do I explain to the player that this is how we do it for Lure? But we say roll equals okay. So this roll should be a number between 0 and 1. So, and if we don't have any ultimate power, that number is going to be 0. No. So basically what I want is to use so if I've got a 25% ultimate power, so like I've got ultimate power level 1, that's a 25% improvement. I want that to be a 25% chance to then drop another item. And if you've got it fully upgraded, if it's 100%, that's a 100% chance to drop another item. So that would be ultimate power. And ultimate power is going to range between... So if you've got 0, it's going to be 1. And if you've got 2, then this would be... No, if you've got... If you don't have any ultimate power, this number is going to be 0. If you do have ultimate power, then this number is going to be 1, and then it's just... If you've got full ultimate power, this would just be between 1 and 1. It's not even random. No, the roll is just 0 and 1. Okay. And then it's like if roll is greater than or less than then do it again. Okay. Now what is this number then? So this would be yeah, so then we just say if roll is less than ultimate power minus 1. So if you don't have any ultimate power, if you have not picked this talent, then if roll is less than 0, which is of course impossible. If you've got upgraded it once, it would be ultimate power minus 1, so that would be 1.25 minus 1, which would be 0.25, which would be 25% chance. Yeah, I think that will work. Okay, Dark Randar just needs... I think we already did this. And then I just want to double check how we did it. And I'm actually going to start collapsing some of these. Just double checking that the numbers I have are right for Randar. So he goes through all of his 4 allies and spawns 2 times ultimate power. So it'd be 2 times ultimate power. It's the same character, it does the same thing. It's a bit lazy, I know, but it's thematic. Okay, Blizzard. So again, we just do frequency. And did I do, just double checking I did this correct for Beanie. It should be divided by, yeah. So divided by ultimate power. And yes, we could make it last longer as well. But I think that might be too OP. And then Basmo, he resurrects a bunch of undead. Ooh, 20? Really? Yeah, he just because Sean Randar, if he's resurrecting 2, he's going to resurrect 8 dudes, but they're going to be like permanent dudes. I think maybe this should be default 10. And it should be times ultimate power. You can't multiply an int by a float. So what if we just make this a float? Because it still operates the same. Int I just reduces it by 1.0, so that's fine, yeah. Okay. Horseless Headman, this is another one of the tricky ones because it uses a weapon, but it actually is quite straightforward by comparison. So yeah, we just need to make a weapon. So to just go into weapons, get my pop it in there. And I'll know that this has been a problem if whenever I do an ultimate, like, it chugs a bit, which it shouldn't though. Like, this is not very well optimized, but it doesn't matter. It's gonna like take less than a it's not gonna eat any frames basically. And if it does, then we can tidy it up a bit. But and it looks and it looks a bit messy, but it's still more readable just having everything related to the effect of this ultimate in the same spot rather than having the weapon kind of generated somewhere else so that it only has to be done once. It feels a bit silly to just be making a new weapon just to use once, even though you're going to use it maybe 10 to 50 times in the run, depending on how your build is set up. Okay. Yeah, Archibald, he does a buff. So very easy to make that better. And then Atisaleth does like a charm, and charm is like very much on or off, but we can do times ultimate power. So you sort of imagine that perhaps a Atisaleth, unless you really love charming, maybe isn't the best one for this. And then plagued would be so if I multiply a negative by a positive, that's still more negative. I'm so bad at maths, I'm just going to double check that. Minus 5 times 2 equals minus 10. Okay, good. Lucy. And then again, I just have to make this divided by ultimate power. Let me double check I did that properly for the last rain one. Yeah, I did. And we don't need to do the time. We just make the frequency higher or lower, shorter, better. Okay. All right, so that should do it. We still need to test, but that's a sort of big annoying thing that requires a bit of attention and mental energy. Scratched off the list here, so that's nice. Where do we put it? Alter menu effect. There it is. Think of a new name for Beanie. good names for female fantasy characters. Like, I'm thinking Arwen, Eowyn, but she's human, so she shouldn't have like an elf name. I like Rhaenyra from House of Dragon. That's a cool name. Yeah, I can think of a name in my own time. I can do that like on the bus somewhere or while I'm exercising. A name for a female ranger who's like stout and ginger and like no bullshit. Nope, I haven't got one in my head. Arya. Okay. Bit of like just whacking shit off the list. Like this one requires me to think quite a lot, so I'll either do it in the afternoon or I'll do it tomorrow morning. So I'm just gonna pick off the stragglers first. So this one, and again, artifacts. It is possible to have too many artifacts. But I think the best, and it's very difficult to decide as a game designer which artifact should I have and which ones shouldn't I have. At least it's difficult to do that from your armchair. So my answer to that is make all of the artifacts you can think of and then delete as necessary, rather than sort of quibbling over with yourself over like, oh, should I add this one? Is this actually better? And then thinking about whether to add it or not. Just add it and then delete the ones that you don't need, rather than not add it and convince yourself that it's a bad idea because it takes effort and adds to this ever-growing pile of spaghetti. But I'm going to add it. So what we have is... So some of these... So we've got the difference between killer chicken. We've got killer chicken means that when an enemy dies, they have a chance to drop a chicken. We could actually still have killer heal. Meaning, when you kill an enemy, you have a chance to heal. And there's also one to get the gem. I thought a lot about this before, and I was like, which is the best outcome? And I think it's fun to have the variety. Like, oh, you could get the one that drops the gem. You could get the one that just does the thing. So there's a difference between dropping a chicken, which is a healing item, and healing. And in this game, that does make a difference because you might have artifacts which improve your chances, like that proc on getting an item. So if I've got looters anything, like it means that I'm always going to want to pick the one that drops the item. And otherwise it just adds like more chance for this thing to happen. One thing I wanted to do is say, so we've got Flaming Summon. We could also have Flaming Summoner. We could also have Flaming Chicken. We could also have Flaming Mana Gem. Flaming Explosion. Is actually just Flaming Death, so that's a mistake. What does Flaming Death do? And then, so what does Flaming Explosion do? Oh, I didn't put it. Okay. Yeah, no, let's just standardize that a bit. Flaming Explosion. Did I add Flaming Armor? Did I forget to do that? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I did. But we basically want this to just be Flaming Explosion. And yeah, it's interesting because basically you could theme it, right? Like maybe it should just be more themed. God, I spend so much time quibbling with myself about this, but it's like, so flaming death, flaming explosion makes sense. We also have frozen explosion, right? Which means that whenever you freeze an enemy, yeah, that's the difference, isn't it? Whenever you set an enemy on fire, they have a chance to explode, versus when an enemy who's on fire dies, they have a chance to explode. Different things. Different things. And then you sort of think about the theming, like how much sense would it make for frozen enemies to explode? Right? Like, also explosion doesn't actually gel with any other mechanic. So the reason I like a lot of these is because you can have like chained synergies, right? So, for example, I could have critical heal, which means I heal every time I do a crit. And then I could have holy mana, which means that I get mana every time, I heal. So then criticals become mana, which I think is really, really cool. I love that. And then holy mana, then you, for example, you could have, so mana relates to ultimate. You could have ultimate chicken, meaning every time I do an ultimate, I get a chicken, which would then have a feedback loop. Or like ultimate buff, and then like maybe the buff that I get increases my crit, so we get this kind of looping effect, which I just think is extremely cool, and I love it, and I want more of it. However, explosion doesn't actually chain into anything else, right? It's cool, it looks nice, it's fun in a way, but it doesn't actually chain to anything else. So it's not like, so you do critical explosion, it doesn't, there's nowhere else to go. At least summon chains kind of with vengeful. Like if you've got more things that are going to die, this is going to happen more often. And of course summoning is a really good end unto itself, but explosion I think is not so good. But it does make sense for a burning enemy to explode. And it does make sense for a frozen enemy to take more damage when it gets hit. What about... So we've also got... So yeah, I'm really just talking myself into a corner here. But we've got frozen... Frostbite. What Frostbite does is it means that you take more... Enemies take more damage when they're frozen. When they've got the frost debuff. Which makes sense. Could we apply that to the other debuffs? We could say electrified enemies take more damage. Burning enemies take more damage. You could absolutely do that and it would absolutely make sense. I just feel like after a while that will start to feel a bit like a paint by numbers affair, which players won't enjoy. Right? Like that's just not going to feel good. We kind of would prefer to have... So the original configuration that I have is like yes to flaming explosion. It was called flaming death. Yes to frostbite. Yes to electric boogaloo, which just doubles the duration of the paralyzed debuff. And again, that's interesting because that's quite significant, but doubling the duration of a frozen debuff's not going to make much difference. Paralyze is like a very short, like you get shocked and you go for a second, but being frozen, like actually you're probably going to be frozen in, like for a unit, they're going to be frozen until they die. That's kind of the way the game ends up working. Like you get a debuff and then it lasts for 4 seconds and you're probably dead by the time that debuff disappears, or at least the enemy is. Bloody artifacts. I mean, it is a very meaty design space for the game. And so you've got something like critical explosion. I think critical explosion is crap. I don't like that. I'm not going to... And yes, a flaming explosion. This is, yes, a flaming death. Well, like... Okay, so let's just basically delete everything, undo everything I've done in this script so far. And I guess I need to have a good think about this. Because I've kind of gone back on myself. It's like, so it's like the thinking of, when you kill something, should we just summon a unit, or like a sort of 5% chance to summon a unit, or a 1% chance to drop a summoner item? That kind of thing. And I'm thinking, why not both? Which kind of just gives a bit more variety, and, you know. But explosion, just to sort of really hammer home. And then like reset is another interesting one. It's like reset will reset your weapons and stuff. I think that's fun. And it can kind of... But explosion is kind of like you just do more damage to nearby dudes. And in this game that isn't particularly graphically impressive. So yeah, I'm kind of really just talking myself in circles. Figuring out what is the best fit configuration. So I will stop doing that. So like the thinking then is just cut this explosion nonsense. I mean, it's a bit of fun. And reset. And like, what if flaming enemies took more damage? I think it's more fun, the theming of it. Like, is it just a matter of gameplay, or is it also theming? Like, having frozen enemies explode on death, or when they get frozen. I don't know, that just feels stupid. Just to have more shit in the game. Explosion benefits from AoE, obviously, but that's still just a very loose. That's a very loose like thing. Yeah. I think the thing is just to have all of them. So we go flaming summon, flaming summoner. Flaming explosion would be an explosion when you set someone on fire. I don't know. I spend way too much time quibbling with myself over what artifacts there should and shouldn't be. Item drop versions to other procs as well. And consider cutting explosion. Again, I think what will happen, and here's the answer, what will happen is I'll be playing the game and I'll be working with a build and I'll see the explosion one and I'll be like, oh, I don't want to pick that because that doesn't lead to any other synergies, and then I'll cut it. But then with the fire one, it's like, well, that is the thing that comes from fire. And if explosion is a fiery explosion that actually sets people on fire. That's just like really pushing into the fire build, right? So let's work around that. Artifacts. Consider cutting explosion and reset, maybe. No, let's just add them all. Okay, so we're going to have critical summon, critical summoner, critical heal, critical chicken. Critical mana gem. And then reset explosion armor. There's no items for that. Which is funny because, see, there's the other stupid thing. Sorry, I'm going on and on about design, but it's like, if I have 2 outcomes from critical that are heal, and only 1 outcome that is armor, heal is a better option. Like, objectively, because you're more likely to gain a synergy out of it. So then the answer becomes, actually, the important thing is that it makes sense. But then, like, what makes sense from a critical? Critical heal, critical mana? I mean... So, and the worst thing is I've already had this entire conversation with myself. I've already had this conversation with myself where I said, no, it should be, like, equal. So we only get 1 version of summon, 1 version of heal, because otherwise heal becomes too much better than the other ones. Or like a healing build becomes better than an armor build. So I think the more interesting thing is actually to like completely rethink this and have just more themed, interesting ones that kind of make sense in the story and make sense in the world. So we don't have frozen explosion. We don't have any of those. And then I do have a note somewhere which is, yeah, consider more focused artifacts. So what I'm going to do is sleep on that a little bit. Okay, achievements building. So this is a simple one. Well, it's not that simple. So we're going back to our building screen, our base building screen. Okay, my cats are meowing like crazy. I'm going to check on what's happening with them. What's going on, cats? What are you doing? Yeah, sorry for waffling on and on and on about that there, but you see how it's like a bit of a conundrum. But yeah, we'll just kind of put a pin in that. There's a whole discussion and thoughts to be had about artifacts at some point, which I've kind of already done, but we can go further. Okay, set up achievements building. So in the base, if we switch on one of the bases, switch on Human Town. In the buildings, let's say we had castle. Let's use the add the tree for that, tree number 3. In the castle, and then we click on, so like every barracks, church, chieftain, fight, but we might have to like subdivide them a bit. But So we would have another one of these. So we would say church. No, we want castle. And inside the castle, leaf button. No, we would have achievement button, which we already have prefabs for. For God's sake, just put it in at 0, for God's sake. Like, why? Okay, an achievement button is already set up. Let me have a look at how that works. Okay, yeah, it's a set state. So we've already set it up so that basically if you've achieved the achievement, the button turns shiny and you can now press it to get the reward. And we set the state based on, like, it's either I should comment this out and say like clicked, like finished. Case 0. Do I say somewhere what the case is? Achievement.state. Locked, unlocked, claimed. Doesn't hurt to just... And claimed is a good word. Right. So achievement is either locked, unlocked, or claimed. And... Okay, we set this up already. Give beans. It's old, but yeah, let's just change it to give reward. And we could even have like alternate rewards based on specific achievements in there, like unlocking a new bit of story or something. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. And until we do a big UI overhaul, I think these buttons are probably fine. And we can say where do we set up all the achievements? I think we're setting them up in the title screen, which is not great. No? Well, we've really tidied this up now. Where do we set up the achievements then? Are there just no achievements at the moment? So in character container, well no, HUD. Interesting. Did I like delete it and then not? Did I like copy it and delete it? Did I cut it and not paste it? Okay. And we've got a bit of a like, so it's an old habit of mine where I would like have achievements and I would have it set up on this script, but also this is what handles the UI for achievements. And actually we had a scene, so I kind of just want to put like title screen. No, not even title screen. Stuff. Where do we load the game? Yeah, start routine on stuff. And so with all of that done, for each achievement and save load current profile achievements debug.log a.names. No, that's just right. So we don't have any achievements set up at this point. So I must have made a mistake somewhere then. I think I must have copied achievements. I must have cut it from somewhere and not pasted it, basically. So I think the answer to that might be make them again, or dig into. So I'll just open File Explorer and go to my backup projects. So I'm just going through my hard drive and finding good old Warbeans. And I reckon I had it set up in title screen. Just title screen open with Notepad. And there's going to be a lot of this. Save load current profile. Yeah. I don't know how many close brackets there are there, but we'll just copy that into achievements, I suppose. No, yeah, this is going to be awkward. So like, basically, this is not the right structure. We should have achievements exist on stuff, and that can handle some achievement-based stuff, but the actual UI should be handled in the base manager. So here, and we don't need this. So this, and then bloody public, like, let's sort out all this garbage the way that the AI helped me do it in the early stages. AI is such bullshit. Like, I started off like even-handed about it, but it's like it is a parlor trick. Okay. So that goes in base manager, which I'm gonna want to put. Lost space manager. So we're going to want like a section for achievements. Except we're going to do it in a similar way, but I'll just hold on to that for now. I'm just going to take anything that shouldn't be in here out. This can live in sprites. Okay, interesting. Reward colors. No. 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 No, so we're going to do it similar to the leaves, where we do actually have a list. Okay. Yes, I know. Go away. So we initialize achievements, and no, we don't do it like this. We don't check that it's. Let me collapse these. Version, that should be Yeah, no, leave this, all achievements. No. This is all just like should be set up from the base manager. Exit. Nope. 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 But we do need our class for achievement, and I think that should go above. I think I need to be more consistent about that, but yeah, I think a good space for it is like above the bit where we set it all up. So basically we add achievements here. Okay, and then I want to do a similar like sync up. So where's stuff? Let's bring that here, because this would be the place to actually like say sync up leaves, sync up achievements. For each achievement in achievements, all achievements, achievement, this achievement, so I'm just copying, equals dot get achievement. So let's do that. Just gonna get weapon, just copy this. There should be a different like name for that, but yeah, I'm still learning. And the thing, you know what happened is when I worked 2 years at Jagex as a game designer and not a programmer, and when I was looking at the code, it was bloody horrible spaghetti rune script. I got so rusty. I got so rusty at programming, and now coming back, I'm like, it took me a while to sort of get back into my Unity groove. Music achievement, but yeah, like if it's coming from save load, it should have a slightly different name just to make that damn clear. Get achievement, and then we ask for achievement.names. Remove any leaves that no longer any achievements. Oh god. So we're still actually and then as far as I know, there's not going to be anything, like if we add what it is what it is. So we wouldn't be changing anything. What does an achievement have in it? State reward, yeah, I mean... How do we do it? This equals that. Yeah, it equals. And then the names wouldn't change. So yeah, that should sync it up. And then remove, we'll do this for achievements. Stop being a moral notice. Come on. I've forgotten where. This is mad because I use it. There it is. I forgot where that button was. Achievement. And let's just bracket this out. Bracket this out. Yeah. It's just some funk you have to do to make it work with saving and loading. Some funk I have to do because I don't have a better way. Okay, so then we can easily just edit this, and whatever changes we make will like update, and we shouldn't, because what happened before is like the game would basically crash and people would lose their save files if I changed anything about any of the achievements, and that shouldn't be the case anymore. Okay. So that is setting up achievements. And we've got survive as so each character gets one. And what we can actually do is do like a for each oh, will that work for different languages? Not sure it will. Just do it manually then, it's fine. That's in, because what I was thinking of doing is making a constructor that would be like, oh, for each character in the game, make this list of achievements. But actually it's not that big a deal just to... But then that's a bit awkward for other languages. Just... And yeah, this managed to escape the find and replace of Sean to Randar because it wasn't in the script at the time. And we have Beanie, and then we would have Rowan, and I should do like based on selection because this is a massive pain to click through all of these. And should probably bracket them out just so that it's easy to fold them up. Okay, let's just start with that for now. Survive at, so you get a new one for each level, but I think we might change that. Stats are like, yeah, for getting enough kills. Upgrade combinations basically needs to be completely redone because they're going to change. And yeah, it's going to be awkward for translations, so... Basically, I just want to have an achievement unlock for every... Because I want players to be strongly incentivized to unlock every possible... to try every possible combination. So, you know, just see what combining different upgrades does. So, like, I want them to see the flaming sword by combining fire and sword and so on. I want them to do that for all of them. And again, it's a bit awkward. And this is because my language, like, I invented my own way of, like, localization where I just kind of a name, anything that's like a name or a description actually is a list. And the list always comes in the order of the languages. So if we say language 2, that's French, language 1 is Spanish, and so on. But if we were to say, like if I was to make a constructor, I bet the translator could handle that. So it'd be like for each upgrade, probably could do it for the characters in upgrades.all upgrades. if upgrade dot combined is equal to true. All achievements dot add new achievement. And then we would say names yeah. I need a plus sign. The problem with this, and so that makes all achievements exist. And description, I think, doesn't exist anymore. It's just name and reward. The name is the description. What's wrong with this? Oh. And then we have combine, upgrade. And then we don't need a full stop, I guess. Okay. Thing is, the prereq is always a string that's in English. So really, it probably is going to make more sense just to do it like manually. I would want to do that like once everything is finished though, because these combinations might change. But then it would be like, I guess it could be done. Combinar plus upgrade upgrades. Here's how we do it: upgrades dot get upgrades dot get upgrade upgrades dot prereq 0 dot names 1. Yeah. What's wrong with the syntax? Where is the comma expected? Oh, okay. And then that's how we fetch a Spanish name. This should work. I don't see why this wouldn't work. And then so the next one would be combiner, bloody French, plus us that whole thing basically, but with the 2 and the French word for and. And then hopefully the AI translator will be able to continue that. And then that should actually just work. I expect that to work. We don't need to split by that. Okay. And I think in the basement, like I do actually want to, rather than make all the bits in UI, I do actually want to make like instantiate each of them based on my list of achievements. So, because while I've not done that for the skill trees, the achievements are just going to kind of be set up in a row. So let's go back to base. Let's look at this. And then we've got canvas, building panel, and it will just be thought of as a building panel for castle. And we kind of start at the left, and then we would have and this would want to be this. So the transform of castle okay, we'll get there with this, but basically we'll be instantiating it into a transform here, and we're going to try and like just because it's just going to be rows of buttons. That it's not a skill tree, there aren't connections, and the positioning can be based on So in the base manager, open building. And we would have some kind of, and then sort of building. And then maybe we would have like something like this, and then when we open building, yeah, and we can say if building dot achievement building, do one thing, otherwise do the other. So so if it's an achievement building, then we want to actually populate the things. So for each transform I really wish there was and I'm gonna ask Gemini about this, because basically I just want to reset transform for each transform trans in so update leaves is in there. Is there a function in unit? So what I want to do is go trans.destroy wait, how do you destroy? God, I swear like parts of my memory have disappeared. Do I just go destroy? Okay. What I would, and so I can easily make my own little thing, like public static void reset transform for each transform trans in T, destroy T trans dot game object, and then over here, instead of having to do this, I just go stuff dot reset transform this. But what I want to know is there a function in Unity to delete all children of a transform? So yeah, like people have made extensions for it. people, yeah, it's reading forums of what people are saying about it. Okay. So for each building, yeah. So actually, like you do just have to make your own one, and that's just cleaner. Never mind then. Okay, stuff.reset transform, and that just resets the transform, and then we go for each. Oh. And yeah, we're doing our own newer version, so we go and then we will have achievement button prefab. Won't be needing this, or will we? No, we won't be needing that. Okay. Out the way. So if we made another one, it would be over here, so that would be 150 plus I'm not going to worry too much about this because it's going to change, but so that's 150 minus 4, so that's 150. I'm bad at maths. 410 minus 150 equals, come on, 260. And a row is like so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we should try and fit 6 in a row, which is not going to happen unless we make them a bit smaller. But we, like, again, I don't want to worry too much about this because this is all going to change. But if we just very quickly just went prefabs, I don't know, yeah, just made it like we'll just have them kind of like overlapping a bit. So we'll start at like 100. 60. $620. $880. We'll just kind of cram them in a bit. Okay, that's gonna look wacky as hell, but that'll do for now. So that'll be our bar. If xpos is greater than 1400, then ypos xpos equals 0, and ypos equals 360. So ypos equals 210. Okay, is that gonna work? Yeah, that's close enough at least. Okay, that'll do that. So then we've got our position, and then new achievement button dot set state. And what else did we have? I mean, that's basically it. We just kind of set the state. Because set state state image. State image dot sprite. What is the achievement state image? Okay, it's that little guy. So we just want no. Base manager, current faction. Does you not have a sprite? Oh, current faction dot currency dot sprite. No. Faction. Where did I currency image? Okay, that's just does nothing. Okay, so we haven't done that yet. Did I like start doing this and then stop halfway? Current faction dot. So So we want to have okay, there's going to be lots to sort out. It always feels like I'm like, oh, I'm not really doing this then, but I am. It's just one thing at a time. Base manager current faction dot currency sprite, and then finally, I think this is the tick. Sprite equals stuff. Sprites dot currency dot tick. And that's not stored there yet. So we go stuff.sprites, sprites, UI sprites locked. So we'll make another subheading, symbols. Buttons. And we have tick. There's going to be lots of empty sprites that we'll have to fill in, but I'm not going to worry about that now. Give reward. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to skip that. I mean, I guess we say, so in base manager, do we have currency text? We do. Where was it? Was it in achievements? This probably shouldn't be here. Yeah, this shouldn't be here. So this give reward. So we want to have no, we can set state at that end. not going to worry about this. And yeah, once we unlock an achievement, that's worth saving. Do we have the same when we update leaves? When we unlock a leaf. When do we unlock a leaf? Okay, we do save. Alright, yeah, it's a bit, it's not very clean, not very tidy, not very symmetrical, but that's fine. So in base manager, oh hello Judge Dredd, are you being the law? So yeah, this should be done then. Just like we set up the button, new achievement button. Oh, we need to actually say new achievement button. Duh, that's good. Thanks for joining. Are you new here, or have you been in this stream before? Achievement button. Achievement equals achievement. And I think that's the only one. Oh. Yeah, that's the important bit. Oh, nice. Yeah, thanks for dropping by. Are you a game dev? Are you learning to code, or did you just get enticed by the thumbnail? Position button. And yeah, I think the set state should cover like any features of the button. So yeah, this is not very well standardized, not super duper readable, but I think this will work. So I want to test that. And there's going to be a whole bunch of things to set up in the editor. Oh, nice. Have you made any games yet, or are you starting? Because I got a lot of I've been doing this for like 9 years now. So I started when I turned 30, and yeah, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've kind of just been going fully solo. Like, I'm not very good at like having a community and like getting people to like help me out and stuff. But yeah, I've learned quite a few things. I did a couple years at Jagex, and I've kind of got rusty during that time. Funnily enough, being a game designer at a games company meant I made very little games. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I wish to say go for it. Just start making the game that you want to make. I mean, like, I guess different people have different ways of it. Like, some people like to plan a bit more. I like to just kind of jump in, you know. Some people like will polish something for 10 years and it will be great or crap. I have a tendency to kind of rush things out the gate. Oh, hello, Jack. Thanks for joining again. You were here yesterday, right? Yeah, I remember your name. Did you enjoy the Brackeys tutorials? Did you check any of those out? Because, yeah, like I said, they're really good for anyone who's learning to make a game. Like, if it wasn't for, and he's not the only game in town, but if it wasn't for tutorials like Brackeys, I almost certainly wouldn't be able to do any of this. Like, I wouldn't have been able to learn Unity just by using the manual. Like, having a nice 10-minute videos was really helpful for me to like, you know, it's just a bit more digestible, isn't it? Okay, where was I? So I want to test that these achievements appear. So we have base manager. We should have a few new things in here. Achievement prime prefab. Okay, nice. Yeah, I mean, if you like, whatever works for you. Like, I mean, I think the Brackeys ones from 10 years ago are still relevant. Like, they still like in the 10 years that I've been using Unity, it hasn't fundamentally changed. There's a few major things like the way it reads controller inputs, which I haven't actually learned the new method yet, but yeah, yeah, like so I'm totally an average Joe myself as well. Like I like it's actually a deep regret of mine. Like, and I honestly like I get really sad about it. So I'm about to turn 40 in November. And I really wish I had started this when I was like 18 or 20. I've always been obsessed with video games. I always played way too many games. And what I would like to, if I had started making games in my 20s, then by now I'd be much further along. Whether we're talking about a career in like AA or AAA, or just having made more indies and being better at it. So I really regret. So, but yes, I turned 30 and I started doing it, and it really, yeah, you can do it. Just watch these tutorials. Like it's actually not that hard. What is it someone said that really hit me is like all of these functions were made by a human to try and be as efficient as possible. So like you can understand them. They're not too difficult. And especially these days with like Gemini or like just AI in general has been a game changer, because when I was starting out, when I had to figure out something that I couldn't figure out, like if I had a question, if I had a problem, I would type it into Google and I would get a bunch of forums. And now when I type something into Google, I get a bloody straight answer. Like it's really nice. I wouldn't suggest using generative AI in your game, but certainly for like advice, learning to code and stuff. And I definitely would say, I don't know, I keep repeating myself on this one, but like, yeah, use AI, experiment with it, but it's probably gonna slow you down more than anything. Yeah, like you don't need to go through tutorials and shit. Yeah, coding's like, it's one of those ones where like I find coding much easier than drawing and shit like that. Like it can kind of hurt my head a bit, but coding is like you can control Z anything that happens. You can look things up. Like you can end up into weird spaghetti pies. But like again, I've got quite a bit of thoughts about that. Like you can log off and go for a run, have a coffee, have a sleep, do something other than like you. But yeah, coding's not that hard. I mean, I guess everyone's different. Um, yeah, I mean, so for you, you said you're a visual artist, so it's like, uh, I hate being a visual artist. Like whenever I love coding, I love the puzzle. Like it's like playing Factorio. But whenever it comes to doing art, I'm like, oh. So I put it off and put it off and put it off to the last moment until like I actually absolutely have to do it. Yeah. So like I should be doing a lot of UI design before I start making these menus, but yeah, like so the AI, like it depends whether you're talking about like getting help from AI or like vibe coding, right? So when I started making this project, one of the things that I wanted to test out was how good is AI. And at first, it was really bloody good. I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is really impressive. later down the line, it has produced technical debt. So overall, so at first it was like really sped me up. But now looking at it on balance, I've lost time from doing AI, but I don't regret it because it's a good thing to learn. Yeah. Well, I've actually had quite a lot of fun learning a bit of pixel art. Um, it's like especially with this game, like starting by keeping it simple and kind of working our way up. This is a thing that this is a error that doesn't actually make a difference. It's going to turn off when I reset Unity. Okay. Yeah, like so I've had fun learning a bit of pixel art. Like you start with like start at a very low resolution and then you'll kind of as you gain confidence and you'll learn little tricks, like you'll learn how to shade and how to kind of make characters with just a little bit of input. I wonder if I have just while we're talking about it, I think I might have an old version of no, I don't. Um, but like you learn little things like what is the effect of this little bit under his eye, and I feel like it makes him look more kind. And you just learn little tricks like that. I don't know, it's not a big deal. And then like with animation, you learn, and again, like if you know animation, this is like 101. This is really obvious stuff. But if we go sprites, weapons, no, magic effects. Like if we just look at the slash, so you learn that from like it's the after effect that you see, and that's what makes it look cool. And there's so much more effort put into the fading of the after effect than there is of the effect actually appearing. Like this is just one frame. It goes from a little dot to a big arc, and that's its kind of final form. And what makes it look cool is seeing it disappear, because that's sort of like you see the after effect of something. I don't know, like maybe that's obvious, that's like 101 obvious shit to animators, but to me it was like a bit of a head explosion moment when I figured that out. So I'm learning. I did this one recently, so again, like the actual appearance of the lightning is nothing, but it's the fading of it that makes it look cool. Yeah, everyone's going to have a different experience with AI. I guess it's like because I started without using AI, it's made it quicker. But like it can definitely like get you over the hump. Like you'll have a game that's like you say, yeah, you have a game that's almost finished, and you just need help with a few little bits. I certainly did that. Like uh, and yeah, I still do. Like I've used AI for like if it wasn't for AI, a lot of these things would have been a nightmare. Like I'm thinking of my specific blend of how what is it? Level up UI. Is this where it is? It shouldn't be here, but this is where it is. So we talk about rarity. Oh, where do we do that? Oh, it's in GM? Yeah. Yeah, it's like this stuff. This is magic to me. I don't know how this works. Get rarity weight, so it's like, and then where does that apply? So like when the game is figuring out how to offer upgrades based on how many based on rarity of items, I had no idea how to do that, and AI just kind of did that for me, and I haven't gone back and changed much about it. Yeah. Yeah, but it's like but you go to ChatGPT and you say, hey, here's my code, and you just copy paste your code, and you say, hey, I would like to have a system where and as you can, like, I'll say, yeah, look, each of these upgrades has rarity. So you give it the full context and you say, can you make it so that the rare ones, like legendary, are less likely to happen than the common ones? And the AI will say, sure, and it will do it, and then you can just paste that into your code, probably without issue. But if you try and vibe code, which I did at first, it's like I ended up doing things in ways that I wouldn't usually do it, because that's how the AI suggested it. And it's kind of like, when you get like a Lego instruction book. I do, because I have a kid. And you have a Lego instruction book, and it's like, or any tutorial, like, you might have a better idea of how to do something, but you're just going to blindly follow the tutorial or the instruction book, because if one of the things is off, it's going to compound it down the line. So I just followed the AI blindly, and it has led to problems. The main one being populating this character list. It makes the character as it populates the list. So it goes character.add new character. This is shit. What it should be is the new character should exist at the top as a static variable, and then and it's a bit too late to change it now, but I guess now I know why you might or might not do it like this instead. So like I said, I don't regret using the AI. I think it's actually in its favor. It will teach you to do it in a way that you don't normally do it, which is actually a very good thing, because it will break you out of your comfort zone and you'll learn new things. So I don't know, like, it's yeah. Yeah, yeah, like I've got a friend who works, like, he's like a proper programmer. He's like an engineer for a communications company, and it's funny, like, he he uses AI to do code reviews. Um, so he uses and it like helps out, because if he's got like thousands and thousands of lines of code, it can find errors, like simple errors, much quicker than a human can. Judge Dredd, tell me about the game that you're making. What kind of game is it? Like, yeah, tell me about it. Okay, I'm getting distracted. I do like chatting, and to be honest, I have kind of done what I wanted to do today, so I'm okay just kind of chatting a bit. Yeah, I just want to test that this worked, and I'm going to run into all kinds of errors and silly bits, but if we go... No, not the mission, because yeah, I'm thinking about what kinds of games like an AI might be good or bad at making, like, and then like, yeah, what challenges are going to come up there, or like yeah, and also just curious about whatever games people are making. So there's our barracks, and it has completely failed to do anything, so that's good. Or is that no? Okay, so when we opened that building. Open building. Okay, so for achievement building. Debug.log hello, and I think I already know what the problem is. It's because I didn't put thingy. Oh yeah, so for a fighting game that works really well. Yeah, because it's like a fighting game is all about, like, yeah, designing the moves and like the looks of the characters and stuff, but like there's not a whole lot of new mechanics you might need. And if you did want some funky mechanic, like, I don't know, I can't think of a new mechanic for a fighting game, but like a special bar and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's really cool. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. That's a really good use case for AI in games, I think. I don't know what you mean creating conditions around my buffs. Like, my buff code is horrible. Like, you know what? Like, one thing that I would like Claude AI for is to go through, like I said, like I want to do this in a different way. I want to have it set up as a static variable at the top, and then we create and then we modify that variable, and then we add it to the list rather than making it in the list. And I would like Claude AI to just do that for these. How many lines for these 6,000 lines of code? That would be nice, but I can't. I think I have to get like the paid version to do that, or do it in chunks, and I just can't be bothered. And I remember back in the day, I would have just had to do that manually. That there's no find and replace magic. Oh, there was another one that AI really helped with. Is I did. So I don't know how to use find and replace. Do you know about all this stuff? I don't know if you've seen. Oh yeah, no, I would be better at doing that than the AI for sure. For the poison buffs and stuff. Like I would not trust the AI with that. But have you seen this stuff, like regular expressions? Have you ever messed with this? With this button? Regex, regular expressions. That's some hardcore magic juju. Where you have to write, like, you have to use weird, wacky symbols and like letters and stuff like that. I guess if you did web development, you might know about some of those, like how you just kind of use symbols to tell the machine how to interpret what you're writing. And that is magic to me. Like, some of the more advanced regular expressions are magic to me. So it's like, oh, I want to go through all of these and change this word but not this word and so on to do a big find and replace to fix my code. Again, like, I don't have, like, just like Judge Dredd, like, I don't have time to learn how to use that. That is not an efficient use of my time to learn how regular expressions work. So I just went into ChatGPT and was like, hey, can you help me use regular expressions to change this to this? For example, this line would become this line. Yeah, right? Like, regex is horrible. And then the AI was like, sure. Here's what you would write into the regex expression. So it just told me what magic words to write here. So it would be like, I don't know, like mega, and then *n to the power of 10, like, equals, and then quote mark, and then your word, you know. Like magic, it's a magic spell. These are like mythic runes, and I didn't know how to do that, and I'm not going to learn. I don't have time to learn how to do that. The AI just told me how to do it, and that was nice. And then, of course, if you've got like a subscription to ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, you could just copy your whole code in and be like, change these to these. Although it would take a while. Yeah, so I find it endlessly fascinating talking about this, because it's certainly nice having an insight of like how like a lot of people debate around AI, but a lot of people haven't actually tried it, and yet they have an opinion on it, and I'm like, try it. Like, I don't know how to write the like the tiny 2 or the tiny 10, you know. It's renovated half your house. What do you mean? Is that like the cost of renovating your house? Or has it just helped you with yeah, like sorting out, like I've got a plumbing issue downstairs. It's nothing major, but it's just when we turn the dishwasher or the washing machine on, the drain fills up, and the drain goes, like, I guess, under the house, and yeah, my wife's using like Gemini and stuff to like troubleshoot that, which is nice because that's cheap, still cheaper than a plumber. Achievements should exist on this script, and we'll see if we come across any like script execution order issues. Oh man, that's clever. I wish I had done that. I should have learned how to do plumbing and stuff. I can do painting, and I did the floors in my living room, but that's it. I can't do any of that stuff. Okay. No. Okay, well this shouldn't be here anyway. Version. And version was just something I had. No, that should be in stuff. If at all. If at all. Because if it's going to mess with stuff, I don't want to do that. But yeah, if we say start routine, everything is made. And actually GM shouldn't have version. No, this should be in stuff, I think. Stuff is the thing that doesn't destroy on load. Yeah, it's linked to Steam achievements. I think the way it works... So yeah, this is in-game. And I can't remember, but like doing a Steam achievement is really easy. It's really easy. I can't remember how though, but... yeah, it's going to be linked to Steam achievements. And then basically I just have to set up the achievements at Steam's side, and they just need to match the names. And that's going to be like the last thing I ever do on this game. So yeah, so if we have stuff, it's like it's a great name. Probably should be like the title of the game. Equals version. Did I copy and paste? And I guess we're at 1.6 now. 1.6 now. Yeah, so set transform. Okay, yeah, so let's try and get this working. Make sure this works. I really appreciate people coming into the stream and chatting to me because it makes me feel less lonely, and it makes me so nice because yeah, I have to go in like 10 minutes, and like at the end of a shift or the end of half, before lunch, like I kind of start spinning my wheels a bit. So it's nice to chat to people and say, "Oh, that's not how it's supposed to look. What? What happened here? Okay, interesting. Let's investigate." So that did open that. Okay, I know why the sprites look weird, and it's because I haven't set those up. But I don't know why the text... Oh, and I think the text, just at no point has the text been... at no point have I told the text to match the achievement. So, new achievement button dot text equals achievement dot names simples. Yeah, at the moment I'm full-time at Solo Game Dev. Yeah, I used to I got laid off from Jagex like May last year, unfortunately, and I haven't been able to find another job in the games industry because I don't know if you're aware, but the games industry is really screwed right now, especially for finding jobs. So that's been a bit annoying. I did do a short stint at Fen Research, who make Brighter Shores, and I left for obvious reasons. And I did a bit of freelance work on a game at a company called Hypersonic. It was like 2 weeks. It was like a 2 week trial. They paid me well, but I don't think they're gonna make a game. I don't think they're gonna actually be able to make a game. Yeah, I was a RuneScape. I was a pure game designer on RuneScape 3, so not old school, but it's just called RuneScape, I guess. But officially, it's called RuneScape 3. Obviously, everyone knows it as just RuneScape, though. And yeah, it was interesting people, but they laid a bunch of us off. I think I'm like 6 months away from being able to gossip a bit more about that. But yeah, it is a. Can I say? Yeah, it's a shit show. It's a shit show. Very, very disorganized. Very. It's exactly what you would expect. Very disorganized. Very ideological. Very antagonistic towards the audience. Lots of people with absolutely no idea how to design games. Or like run a games company, or but some really, I met some nice people, very very talented artists, musicians, really really good stuff. Warhorse, what does ring a bell. Oh yeah, they're cool. Yeah, yeah, they're making some cool stuff. Are they doing? Didn't that Lord of the Rings MMO get cancelled? Is that Warhorse Studios, or am I thinking? I'm just getting. That's coming up. Because yeah, they did Kingdom Come Deliverance. Is that the only ones they've done, or are they doing more? I haven't played the second one yet. My dream companies would be like. I don't know. I'd like to work for a small indie dev. Yeah, like don't get me started on politics and games. But yeah, who would I did have a good answer for this recently. I mean, I used to think Devolver Digital were the coolest people ever, but they completely they literally sold out. Like they tried to go public and just started producing crap. Oh, like there's the people who made Cult of the Lamb. I'd love to work with them. But like all my favorite games are like made by solo devs and stuff. Like who would I want to work for? I did fucking Creative Assembly, but I did an interview with them and I got a really we did not gel well. I got a really awkward vibe from them, which explains a lot, to be honest, about the state of Total War. Like it's such a good format for a game, and they have just completely squandered it. What else? Who else did I interview with? Like Cloud Imperium. That was interesting. They're the ones making Star Citizen. Okay, so the names are correct. And we've got the stats ones. The positioning is all wrong, but I'm not going to worry about that because I just wanted to have it there. Why? For each upgrade. So why are the combo ones not appearing? And then I guess so why are these not appearing? I wonder. Yeah, Total War's like my favorite game. And they're making a Space Marines Total War. But the problem is like the devs keep doing terrible things with the IP. Like Rome 2 was awful. Like, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go get him. Just gonna leave him 5. Yeah, they they messed that up. Like, just for how good the format of that game is, like, it's pretty sad that it doesn't that the game isn't better, that they can't do a better job of like designing good gameplay, good campaign mechanics and stuff. Medieval 2 was great. Empire was great, but I think that's a totally different group of people that made those games. Empire was fantastic. Some of the like ship trade mechanics didn't click with me. I think it might have clicked with other people, but the combat is fantastic. And yeah, they're all about trying to make it a bit more like focusing on the campaign, which is like why like nobody cares. Like focus on your strong point. I don't know. I'm gonna. So why are none of these showing up? Wait. Why is this doing for each? And upgrades to all upgrades. So why are these not appearing? Is my question. So is it because upgrades hasn't initialized yet? I think that's why. Is that why? So let's go to Leafs. And how did I handle Leafs? That can't be all the Leafs I have. How did I handle making sure... Okay, so this doesn't depend on upgrades. Yeah, like they just don't know what they're doing. I mean, it annoys the crap out of me how many great games are just crap. Like, basically. Like, I played Spider-Man 2 again the other day, and it's like, you have got gold on your hands, and you're just, like, pissing on it. Oh, like, God of War. Like, who wants to see Lofi? Like, it's just... The people who make games, they are very antagonistic towards the players. They're antagonistic to anyone who doesn't share their ideologies. They gatekeep the hell out of it. They're very, very hostile and antagonistic. I've got to go, but yeah, don't get me started. Well, I'll be back at 1 o'clock, so I don't know if you guys are American, in which case you'll probably be going to sleep, but I'll be back at 1, where we'll continue doing this and trying to knock more stuff off the list. I'll try and do some of the stuff that's a bit easier, like this one, for example, and save the big stuff for tomorrow. So yeah, I'd love to stay and chat more. Got 6 concurrent viewers. That's crazy high for me, so I'm a bit sad to leave. But yeah, appreciate you all dropping by. Yeah, I got like 5 subscribers this week, so super pleased about that. So obviously that makes my day. And yeah, see you at 1 o'clock. All right, cheers. Yeah, hope to see you again, Jack and Judge Dredd and everyone. So cheers, bye.